What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today we are going over old Elsie Bray's pulse rifle right here, the void version basically of the no time to explain exotic. This legendary version comes from our onslaught mode, the new brave weapon. So we got a lot of different options. This is going to be available into the final shape with some enhanced perks coming then with this amazing origin trait in my opinion. So we're gonna go over everything here for PvE, PvP god rolls, as well as this origin trait. So starting us out, the Indomitability. This final blows grants us grenade energy when we're on our light subclass, so that Art, Void, Solar, or melee energy when we're on our darkness, so our strand or our stasis. This is going to be so clutch, I think, inside of the final shape, and it is just one of the better overall origin traits that they've put out inside of the game. So you get, as you can see, it's community research, so we get about 5% of those melee grenade energies per kill with that subclass. So it is super nice for that ability regen on these brave weapons. So starting us out on the PvE side of things, we are going with boss spec for our pulse rifle right here, helping us inside of that onslaught, if you will, or really any type of that end game content. There is going to be a lot of those mini bosses and bosses, so getting that 8% damage on this pulse rifle is super nice. As for our masterwork, I went with reload speed. You could totally go with range or stability on this, up to you. If you're having trouble controlling it, go with stability, but having 70 reload on this with this masterwork at the +10 is kind of nasty, and you are able to just continuously fire, it feels like. As for our barrels for PvE right here, first off, I think I would go with small bore over everything. This is my #1 choice because of that 7 stability, 7 range. We have this stacked out to 67 in range, 62 in stability with that 70 reload. So it is a nice little map on this thing in the PvE. The difference with arrowhead break is we get that recoil direction as well as a little handling. So that recoil direction puts us right at 100. So you are going to not have much bounce on this, and when it does, it's going to go straight up and down, which is quite nice. So totally up to you if you want that stability side, or I should say the recoil side of things, go with the arrowhead. But if you want that little bit of extra range, go with small bore. Onto our magazines, got 2 choices again. First one is the appended mag right here. We get 6 extra bullets in the magazine without taking the crazy -20 to our reload speed, which would tank it all the way down to 50, which isn't terrible, but appended is definitely way better in my opinion. Last option is armor piercing rounds. We get that increased range at +5, plus we get roughly a 5% increase against those damaged combatants with the combat shields. So it is a little bit of extra damage with just a little bit of extra range. So personally, I like appended mag a little bit better. We get those extra couple pulses in there, but that 5% damage can add up. Now when we move on to the 3rd and 4th columns right here, got some pretty solid perks in my opinion for the PvE side of things and PvP. This thing is definitely up there in like the 4.8s, 4.9s for both of the categories in my personal opinion. So first off, we got the rewind round. Say that 5 times fast. We get a chunk of the magazine back based on the hits that we land from the reserves. So you can see, if you read that nice community research down here, it's about a 60% fill on the number of hits that you get. So you can just continuously shoot this thing when it runs out. Like I said, if you're using that 36 in the magazine, you hit all of those shots, you're getting about 30 back, 28 of those shots back. So it is a beautiful little thing to keep ammo just consistently. So this is a non-reload perk for sure. Just let your ammo go, run out of bullets, and it'll automatically reload for you. The second option, in my opinion, for that more void synergy for some of that lower type content, or pairing it with the void subclasses to be able to get some overshields, create devour, etc., you could go with repulsor brace. Kills with against those void debuffed targets grant you a 45 HP overshield for 8 seconds. So when you got some volatility going on, or in the 4th column we do have destabilizing, but like I said, said, this is more for the ad clear side when you got volatility going on, so you can keep yourself alive. But even, I guess, in the end game content, if there is a lot of void volatility going on or weakening, this can come in handy. Last in the third column is Feeding Frenzy. Each rapid kill with this weapon progressively increases reload for a short time. You can see it stacks up to 5 times with 100 reload speed at the top at that 100 times 5 stacks. So it is a very quick reload when you are getting this, but this already has that 70 reload in my personal opinion, so this is the last option. I would go with Rewind or Repulsor before Feeding Frenzy. Finally, in our fourth column, I think my top choice with this is going to be Frenzy. Now hear me out. This gives you that 15% damage increase on those enemies, 100 handling and 100 reload while being in combat for that 12 seconds. So it is a very good perk, 15% damage across the board, not on anything specific, and it just comes from being in combat. You don't have to get kills with the weapon, you don't have to get kills with your grenade, anything like that. So I think this is going to be my top overall choice for the weapon, just being able to be the most versatile perk. Second option is that destabilizing, like I was talking about. Pairing this with Repulsor Brace, you get the kills with destabilizing, creates volatility on the other enemies inside of that 6.5 meter range. Then you get those defeats. Repulsor gives you that nice overshield, 45 HP on that, so you can just continuously proc those back and forth when you're getting the defeats. Very good for that void synergy. Like I said, destabilizing is an interesting perk for me. Comes with the negative of not having the damage of like a Frenzy or the next perks we're going to go over, but the ad clear, if you can play your explosions right with that volatility, is pretty nasty. Now we do have the new perk Desperate Measures, but it is similar to Adrenaline Junkie in my opinion, and Adrenaline Junkie stacks up to ×5 for a little bit more damage. So I like this personally, in my opinion, a little bit more than Desperate Measures, but they are almost interchangeable between Adrenaline and Desperate Measures for our last option. So this has a lot of different options for PvE. Now when we move on to the PvP side of things, but this thing is also slapping in my personal opinion. With that high impact frame, we got Target Adjuster you could go with as your weapon bot for that +5 to aim assist, depending on the barrel you are using. You could also use this mod right here in a counterbalance stock. It gives you +15 to recoil direction. So when we go over our barrels, small bore, if you're using that, I would go with counterbalance, but arrowhead break, I would go with Target Adjuster. As for our masterwork, I personally like stability on this thing. Turns it into an absolute laser beam inside of the Crucible with almost 80 in the stability on this, almost more if you are using the small bore perk, but stability is what I went with. You could go with range as well. So that first perk that I was talking about is arrowhead break, +27 to recoil, +10 to handling, so we can switch on and off this weapon a little bit faster. We get that recoil direction all the way up to 100, so it is very sticky and it bounces straight up and down, which is beautiful inside of the Crucible. Like I said, especially with sometimes the flinch in this game is absolutely wild. So first option, arrowhead break. Second option for you is that small bore, +7 to stability and range, gives us 72 in range, 82 in stability. We do only have 42 in handling compared to the 52 which arrowhead gives us, but having that 82 in stability, like I said, makes this thing bounce like nothing, especially if you throw on counterbalance stock. It is bouncing up and down pretty straight. Second column for me, I only got one option for you guys: ricochet rounds. These bounce off the walls, you can hit people behind weird little corners, gives you 10 to stability, 5 in range, just gives us the best overall stats in my opinion, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Ricochet is what you should go for in your mag. Now inside of the third column, we got the GOAT right here with keep away, increases reload range accuracy when no targets are in close proximity. So this thing on pulse rifles, especially these high impact frames, gives us that increase to about 10 in range, 30 in reload, and a little decrease in that accuracy cone. So it is a absolute menace inside of the Crucible. Use this on basically everything that I can get. Hand cannons, autos, pulses like that. Just keep away is a goated perk. Second option, if you are having trouble controlling the bounce on the weapon, go with Zen Moment right here. Grants you a reduced recoil and flinch over time when causing damage with the weapon. So you do got to be hitting your shots, but it does give you that reduced recoil. So if you are having troubles, like I said, go with this bad boy. Now the last option, which I have been testing out and it does feel a little bit nice right here, is Under Over. Deals bonus damage to targets with overshield, so deals a small amount of damage against those combatants with overshield. You can see inside of the Crucible we're getting about a 20% increase against those player overshields, so we can absolutely destroy their shield on them, and then they are already at a disadvantage because it takes them a little bit longer to kill our shields off, and then we can use our next perk to just destroy them as well. That perk I'm talking about in the fourth column, Head Seeker. Body shots landed with this weapon increase precision damage and aim assist. So if we are taking the shield off with Under Over, something like that, with those body shots, we're going to get Head Seeker to perk, and then we can absolutely annihilate them with a couple headshots with this Head Seeker perk. I think the best combination is Keep Away with Head Seeker for sure, in my opinion, but Head Seeker is a great PvP perk. You got the trusty dusty Desperado on this as well. Reloading after precision final blows grants you increased rate of fire. This is a classic perk that came out way back in the day. It was only on a specific pulse rifle, so this is a nice little change that we got on a couple new ones inside of Destiny 2. So Desperado, you can absolutely laser some people when Desperado is procced with these high impact frames. Turns it into like a rapid fire frame with still that high damage that impact gives us. But certainly not least, we got ourselves Kill Clip. Reloading after a kill grants increased damage upon that reload. It's about a 25% increase to damage for 5 seconds. So Keep Away with Kill Clip is absolutely gnarly in my opinion. Like I said, I still like Head Seeker Keep Away the best, but Kill Clip, Desperado, also very good perks in this weapon for PvP. For PvP, like I said earlier, this thing is absolutely nasty in both of the realms that we go in, PvE, PvP side of things. So for me, I'm giving it a 4.65 out of 5 for the PvE realm, and then a 4.8 inside of the Crucible. This thing feels super sticky, super gross with that Keep Away Head Seeker. So just like I said, the legendary version of No Time to Explain. So if you like that, grab this bad boy from the Onslaughts and get yourself some God Roll shinies. So again, appreciate all you guys for coming back to the channel. Y'all have been absolutely killing it on the channel. Appreciate that a lot. Make sure you slap that bell and hit that like and subscribe button. Helps me out a bunch. Make sure you guys will not miss out on any of this content that I put out. So again, appreciate all you guys. I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.